Hello and welcome to the weekly Global Heartstream. I'm Gabriel Gonsalves, a professional coach, artist, and speaker who enjoys traveling the world, connecting with amazing people, and talking about the longest, most rewarding journey that you'll ever embark on, the 12-inch journey between your head and your heart. Through individual and group coaching programs, online courses, and live seminars, I teach a heart-centered approach to personal mastery, leadership development, and spiritual growth that helps people become the most loving, joyful, and powerful version of themselves. The Global Heartstream is a weekly dedicated space to help you reconnect with your heart, raise your vibrational frequency, and remind you just how powerful, loving, and amazing you already are. It's also an invitation to unify our hearts with the intention of bringing more love, compassion, and healing to a world that so desperately needs it. You can find out more about my work by visiting GabrielGonsalves.com, where you can also sign up for my weekly newsletter, join the Heart Leader community, and register for my upcoming seminars. And if you enjoyed this Heartstream, please be sure to subscribe, like, or comment so that we can reach more people and help make this a more loving, compassionate, and heart-centered world. Hello and welcome to another inspiring episode of the Global Heartstream. I'm your host, Gabriel Gonsalves, broadcasting live from Granada, Spain on this beautiful Wednesday, the 12th of April. How are you? How's your week going so far? I love it if you could just share a one-word sentence. Is there such a thing as a one-word sentence? I guess so. Yeah, or just a few lines about, a few words rather, not a few lines. We'll be here for a very long time. Yeah, just a couple of words about how your week is going so far. And also, how was your Easter weekend as well, since we're arriving from the Easter aftermath. Hello, Mariette. Hello, Lila. Hello, Irish in Ireland. Are you still in Ireland? Irish. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Geraldine. Ella Namaste Baby from Connecticut. Hello, Simona in Luxembourgo, where they have the deluxe burgers. That's what Luxemburger is, right? Deluxe burgers. Veggie burgers, I guess. Hello, Cindy's Heart. Hello, Isabel in California. Hello, Deborah. Hello, everyone else that is joining us right now. Simona says that she's having a great week. Maria says it's a slow week. Marilyn, that is a peaceful week. Wonderful. All right, well, let's talk about what we're going to be talking about today. If you recall, if you were here last week when we initiated this month with very special guest, Sonia Terhavanishian, we're focusing this month on what it means to live from the heart. So that's the ongoing theme of this entire month. And today we're going to specifically be talking about the path of the heart. And I want to share with you a different perspective of what exactly is the path of the heart, because it means different things for different people in different moments on their lives. It certainly has done for me. In fact, my own definition of what the path of the heart is, the more I walk it, the more it changes, and the more I realize I know nothing about this path, pretty much like the old Stoic philosophers. Welcome, Christoph, Gabriel, brother. Ellen says she's been having a reflective week. Marjorie says, hi from Northern California. Hi, Marjorie Sanchez. Gracias por estar aquí. Iris says, painful week. I don't like this rain. Oh, bummer. We've had a lot of rain. You know, normally in Granada for the Easter weekend for the past few years, it always rains. But this Easter weekend was very different. It was like summer weather. It was super hot. It was very hot, and it was very dry and a bit muggy as well. I think there were some fires going on somewhere up in the mountains. Deborah says it's been busy and productive. Iris says she's in Shropshire. That's right. She's in the UK. She's taking a break. Okay. Isabel says connected and productive. That's wonderful. Yeah, I think if for me, if I've had to check in, if I check in with myself, the week of actually started out with a lot of clarity. And after having experienced a tremendous amount of healing over the past weekend, um, as we spoke about last week, the energies were set at the level of the planet for us to undergo some deep healing and transformation and literally release or leave pin at the cross all of that which no longer serves. So, as a result of that, some of us may have experienced the sense of heaviness, heavy heart, primarily powered, I would say, by the energy of grief, of letting go. Um, and that, I believe, is just a necessary part of the journey towards a more loving version of ourselves. Remember that ultimately, when we're speaking about this path towards love, it's not a path of acquisition. It's path of primarily, as Rumi constantly reminds us, of letting go of the barriers that we have built to keep love away from us, or to keep us protected from love, basically. All right. So before we continue, I want to let you know about some exciting new workshops and events coming up over the next few weeks that some of you may be interested in. I know a few of you have already signed up. I noticed, for example, Simona, you're going to be joining us on the first of this series of event, which is a 5-week course on heart-centered meditation. So this is a new workshop that starts on Tuesday, the 18th of April. And it's for anybody who wants to really learn these techniques. You want to learn all the steps, the different meditations that we practice here, including the heart-coherence technique, the prayer of the heart rhythm meditation, something a lot of people always ask me about, so that you can develop your own practice, and also a practice that is also adapted to your own very specific needs. This is again starting on Tuesday, the April 18th, so exactly a week from yesterday. All right. For those of you who are here and who happen to be men, I have a course specifically designed for you. It's called The Way of the Heart Warrior, and it's the ultimate emotional self-mastery training for men, where you be able to learn a whole new set of skills in emotional self-mastery, shadow reintegration, and compassionate communication. This starts on Friday, April the 28th, and it runs for 9 weeks. So it's a 9-week class where in a small group, we'll be able to connect very deep with each other and get beyond past a lot of the myth that our society has around man and how we connect emotionally, and be able to connect much deeper in a very safe, vulnerable way, and really harness the power of our heart so that we can become emotionally stronger and more resilient, and then ultimately establish a deeper connection with our hearts. Then on Saturday, April the 29th, I'll be facilitating for the second time the Heart of Money workshop. This is a 3-hour workshop for anybody who wants to heal their relationship with money. Then after completing the Meditating from the Heart course, there's going to be an additional workshop that will run for another 5 weeks that will be on heart centering prayer, or praying from the heart. It's for those of you who want to go step further in your meditation practice and begin to incorporate this type of prayer called the prayer of the heart, which is a prayer that emanates from the feeling and then the activation of certain power words that will have a deep transformative and healing effect in your life. This, as I said, starts on Tuesday, May the 30th. And then finally, for those of you who would like to have an in-person experience and spend 3 transformative days with me, I'd like to invite you to join me June 2nd to the 4th to Lisbon, Portugal, for the first Path of the Heart seminar in a very long time, since COVID, basically. This is a 3-day transformational weekend experience for people who want to heal their heart, build deeper, more loving relationships, and reconnect with the natural joy. You can learn more about all of these events over at my website, gabrielgonsalves.com, where you can also take the Heart Mastery quiz. The Heart Mastery quiz, sorry, is a very powerful tool to help you identify how blocked or how open rather is your heart, whether if your heart is open or blocked, and be able to assess where are you on this journey along the path of the heart, which is also I sometimes refer to as the path of heart mastery. Whether if you're still at the stage of what I call the hermit, still operating out of your intellect, your mind, your heart is still pretty much protected and sleep, or if you're at the stage of the initiate, where you're starting to wake up to your heart and to this greater awareness of love, or if you're already in the place of the heart warrior, where you have a deeper connection, you already started the journey of healing not only the core wound of the heart, but then also integrating shadows and doing what is called a cleanup. Or whether if you are at the level of the leader, which is you've done a tremendous amount of healing already, you've been working on yourself for a while, and you're now ready to help other people along this path. You want to be of service to spirit. So again, you could take this quiz. You could learn more about these events by visiting my website, gabrielgonsalves.com. Let me just quickly see some extra comments that came in while I was making these announcements. Sorry. Amanda says she's had a very hard week. I empathize with you. Hi, Veronica. Welcome. She says she feels high energy all around, like I was zooming in and out from 3D to 5D. Yeah, you know what, Veronica? I had a day like that. What's today? Wednesday, on Monday, after I emerged from very, very deep meditations that took place over the weekend. When when I was walking around the streets of Granada, I really felt like I was just in a completely different dimension. I almost felt quite invisible as well. This is one of the things that happens when you are navigating a different reality, but you're still obviously you are in this world, but not of this world, but you're operating more from the other world than this world. You kind of feel that sense of disconnect. Um, Marjorie says she experienced a lot of healing from expectations of how she wants to be. Hi, Barbara. Welcome from Windhoek, Namibia. Lovely to have you here. Barbara, I've been actually speaking to somebody who is not in Windhoek, but they're somewhere near Windhoek about the possibility of actually, when I visit South Africa next year, to do some workshops as well in Namibia. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this topic. And this is a topic that I covered in much greater detail in an article that I sent through my newsletter, possibly about 2 weeks ago. So if you feel like you want to go deeper or you want to go to the source of where I pull this from, visit my blog, and then you'll be able to, there you'll find an article entitled Understanding the Path of the Heart, where you'll be able to see some of the source information for these slides. So the very first time that I ever heard about this thing called the path of the heart was actually when I was about 11, 12 years old. And it was through a book that my mom was reading at that time. My mom was reading the very well-known and, like, I think, best-selling book, The Teachings of Don Juan by Carlos Castañeda. In there, Don Juan, who is this shaman, right? It speaks about the importance of following a path that has a heart. And if the path that you're currently following does not have a heart, it's really not worth taking. And this is actually the lines where he speaks about this. I mean, this is the underlying theme throughout the entire series of books. He says, look at every path closely and deliberately. Then ask yourself this crucial question. Does this path have a heart? If it does, then the path is good. If it doesn't, it is of no use. Now, at that moment, I remember that to me, this just kind of meant Like, is this something you love, basically? Okay, so look at this relationship that you're in right now. Look at it closely and deliberately. Is your heart in it? If it's not, then why are you in it? Okay. This is kind of like what this meant to me, and it probably means still today, and also for the majority of you. All right. So let me ask you a question. Does your current job have a heart? Is your heart in it, basically? And if it's not, then you need to ask yourself two questions. What can I do to bring more of my heart into it? Or what other kind of job would I love to have that I know I could bring my heart into, or that would make my heart come fully alive? Very powerful question. So for me, this was the beginning, the initiating space of into this work many, 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 many years ago when I first heard about what the path of the heart is. Now, metaphorically speaking, when we speak about the path of the heart, we're speaking about the sense of having inside of you an inner compass, something that it acts very much like a GPS that can guide you in helping you get through or grow through life's difficulties and challenges, especially when you feel lost, when you cannot seem to find the way. The poet Rumi described this aspect, or this aspect of the path, beautifully when he said, "Your heart knows the way, run in that direction." And the way that normally this happens for the majority of people is through a sense of either knowing that this is the right way, or a feeling. There's a sense of, this feels right. I know this is the right decision. I know this is the right person. I know that this is the right job. I just feels, it just feels in the way in which when in the same way in which when you go shopping for like a pair of shoes, you put on a pair, and then it's like so tight, and you're like, this doesn't feel good. And then you put on another one, and you go, wow, this just feels very right. Or in the same way in which when you meet somebody new and you start hanging out with them, you start getting this sense of like, wow, it just feels right being together. It's like we feel so good. It's like we fit perfectly. There's a sense of a flow. The Tao is flowing between us. This is the heart that I remember I started connecting to when I arrived in South Africa. And I lost my job, and my mother died, and I lost all the things that gave my life some kind of a direction. And suddenly I was in this darkness. I didn't know where to go and how to go. And it was the feeling inside of my heart that began to guide me. And it began to inform the decisions that I was making at the time. So you access this aspect of the heart, or move into your heart's true path, through this feeling, through the sense of knowing that arises from within you. Now, there's another philosophical definition of this path of the heart, and it has to do with the pursuit of inner wisdom. This is what Ralph Waldo Emerson meant when he said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. So it's connecting with a part of you that knows who you are and why you're here. And obviously begin to make some choices in that direction, so that what you do is an expression of who you are and the bigger reason why you're here. I think that's probably the main reason why I decided to create the Heart Leader Academy many years ago. Because after I started catching glimpses of who I am and the bigger reason why I'm here, I wanted to help other people do the same. In fact, this is the underlying question throughout that entire training program: is who are you and why you're here? And of course, we look at it in the context of being of service to humanity and developing the skills like coaching, compassionate communication, shadow integration, etc., as tools to help us uncover more and more and more over who we really are. And the way we normally access this aspect of the path that has to do with inner wisdom is always through a process of inquiry. All right. A lot of people think, for example, that, that meditation means like sitting down in silence. And yeah, even though sometimes meditation could look like that, but meditation is also a wonderful way to sit quietly and ask these questions and then just become receptive to the answers. So one of the things you could connect with this aspect of this path is by bringing your awareness to the heart, closing your eyes and becoming still and quiet as you breathe in and out of the heart, and then asking yourself, who am I? And why am I here? I remember the very first time that I did this many, many years ago, the answer that came to me right away was be still and know. And so at that moment, I realized, wow, I am this great infinite space in which life is unfolding. I am here as part of a greater whole to be of service, as everything that is part of the whole is already designed for. And so, what is the answer for you? Well, it's up to you to discover. It's up to you to create that kind of time and space in your life to do exactly that. Now, there's another definition of this path, and this is one that obviously every week here we explore, which is the part that has to do with connecting with the divine. The Dalai Lama said, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. So, from a spiritual perspective, the path of the heart is the path towards God through compassion and, of course, love. And it is the same path that Jesus taught, Buddha taught, and countless spiritual masters, saints, lamas, bodhisattvas, gurus, spiritual fathers, and spiritual mothers. This journey encourages us to embrace our divine essence and to let go of all these ego driven desires and material pursuits, focusing instead on the cultivation of love, compassion, and inner peace. This is what we do here week after week. And this is every time we summon the vibration, the feeling of compassion, the feeling of love, the feeling of gratitude, the feeling of joy. This is what we're doing week after week. By connecting with our spiritual hearts, we can access a wellspring of wisdom, healing, and guidance, allowing us to live in greater harmony with ourselves, others, and the universe. And so, this is the same path that Dr. David Hawkins, in his calibrated scale of consciousness, speaks about as the vibration of love, which, according to his kinesiological research, calibrates at the level of 500. Right? This is the alignment with the energy field that nurtures, cares for, and supports all of life. All right. And so I believe, and this is my experience, that we access this by aligning more and more and more our spiritual heart to the spiritual heart of a divine master. Many of you guys hear me call in the presence of Christ. But you could easily call the presence of Buddha, the presence of divine love, the presence of the purity of the heart of an archangel. It doesn't matter who you summon. What's really important is that you align with that infinite aspect of yourself that is pure love and call it in and activate it. Then there is the psychological definition, all right, of this path. And this one takes more into consideration the aspect that have to do with emotional healing and growth, something else that we also look at here week after week. Remembering what Rumi said, your task is not to seek love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you've built against it. So from a healing perspective, we are looking at embarking on a journey of self-discovery, healing, and growth, leading to a more fulfilling and authentic life. All right, it's about facing and accepting our emotional baggage, healing past traumas, getting or transcending our self-imposed limitations, our own programming that comes from our parents, society, culture, religion, schools, universities, etc., and expanding our view of the macrocosm and then also the microcosm. And this, again, this is done through self reflection, and obviously having a set of very powerful tools. This is the essence of what I believe the heart warrior training is all about, the one that I was speaking about earlier. Focuses more on the aspect that have to do with healing and regaining your sense of wholeness. But then there's also a cultural definition of what the path of the heart is. And this one, we could say it's one of shared values and traditions. And this is what I believe Steve Jobs meant when he was speaking about how the only way to do great work is to love what you do. You know, in his that very famous Stanford University commencement speech, where he invites everyone to follow their hearts and follow their passion. He's doing it more than from a spiritual perspective, from a cultural set of values that speak about the importance of living a life that has meaning and fulfills you, where love also plays an important part. Now, each culture has its unique expression of what the heart means. And so, for example, in the Judeo Christian tradition, the word heart refers to the source of all physical, emotional, intellectual, volitional, and moral energies. In the Eastern tradition, primarily in India and China, the heart represents the center of our spiritual and emotional energy associated with love, compassion, and wisdom. So every culture will have attach different meanings to the heart. And for some people, the heart will just simply be an emotional, sensitive, vulnerable little guy that lives inside of us that you should ignore because it's going to get you into trouble. Okay. And so the important thing is that you're aware also that in addition to all the perspectives that we looked at, there's also one that is powered by shared values. Then there's finally one that it's one that you arrive at your own definition based on your unique journey. When you basically put aside all concepts and ideas of what the path of the heart and in essence says, you know what? I just feel something deep inside of me telling me that this is what I got to do. This is the course I have to take. This is the person I have to be with. This is the place I need to move to, that I have to leave this job. It's just like, this is my path. This is the same path that Joseph Campbell spoke about when he said, if you can see your path laid out in front of you, step by step, you know it's not your path. Your own path, you make it with every step that you take. That's why it's your path. So in Latin America and here in Spain, we have this beautiful poem that is also a song that says, "Caminante no hay camino, se hace camino al andar," which basically says, you make your path as you walk it. And so this refers to the unique individual path that each one of you has to follow, which is completely different from other people's path. So even though it may be towards love, towards compassion, towards fulfillment, towards meaning, but that path is going to be uniquely for you. Which is why it doesn't make sense to be jealous of somebody else's path, because their path is not your path. In fact, jealousy is one of the ways in which sometimes we get sidetracked and distracted or trying to copy what somebody else is doing. And so you don't want to do that. You want to, through this same process of self-inquiry we've been speaking about, to establish a greater connection with your own heart and learn to follow your own internal GPS. And then finally, there is a definition of the path that implies that it's a transformational journey. And this one is my favorite one. And this is one that I sort of came up with as well as a teacher of this path and also as an avid explorer of this path. I like to define the path of the heart as the journey that you embark on when you decide to love yourself enough to courageously go after 100% of what you believe in your mind and know in your heart is possible. Along the way, you heal yourself, you fulfill your highest potential, and you transform the world. To me, the path and the heart, they are one. Remember that heart is a symbolism for love. So the path is love, and love is the path. It's not a destination, it's a way of being. One that, of course, requires daily practice and commitment. And it's okay to steer out of our path, to lose our way. The most important thing is to keep coming back. Buddha described it perfectly when he said, your work is to discover your world and then with all your heart, give yourself to it. So, in other words, discover what gives your life meaning and then give yourself to that. Similarly, Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, said, wherever you go, go with all your heart. Both of these quotes emphasize the importance of being present, real, connected, and heart directed, which is why I love so much and have incorporated into my teachings and training programs Tesh Steiner's 5 way of being, because Tesh Steiner's 5 way of being encourage the pursuit of the path towards love or wholeheartedness by first being present, being real, being connected, being heart directed. Yeah, the fifth way of being, I did not mention it here as being clear, but it all starts there with a sense of clarity that this is what you want, that you want to follow your heart, that you want to answer your heart's calling, that you want to fulfill the deeper desire within your heart. So whether you're here because you seek emotional healing, personal growth, spiritual awakening, heart awakening, whatever reason you're here, this thing that we call the path of the heart, that has many different definitions and meanings, ultimately offers us, I believe, a roadmap to help us navigate life challenges with grace and with authenticity. So, as we're bringing this teaching part of our time together to a close, I want to ask you, what does the path of the heart mean to you? What does following your heart mean to you? You don't have to answer it. You don't have to share it here. But what you have to do is be able to answer that for yourself. And then ask yourself, how can I live a more authentic, fulfilling, and heart centered life? In other words, how can I come into greater alignment with this deeper desire within my heart? And then finally, as Don Juan would ask, does your current path have a heart? Does your current heart have a path? As we move now into spring, and some of you are doing your spring cleaning, I think it's a wonderful time to ask yourself, when you look at your clothing in your closet, look at which of these clothings have a heart. In other words, which are the ones that when I bought them, I just knew right away, like, oh, I want this. I love this. Okay. And which are the ones that I hardly ever wear because I just don't really like how I feel when I'm wearing them, that you just have to get rid of, give it away to somebody else and just clean it up. Why? So that you have more things in your life where your heart is on, that your heart is, the more things, doesn't it make sense to you that the more things in your life where your heart is on, doesn't it make sense that there's going to be more heart in your life just by consequence of having more things where your heart is on? You're just going to be basically experiencing more and more and more joy, more abundance, more prosperity, because that's the essence of what the heart ultimately represents. So with this as a introduction to our guided meditation, I'd like to invite you now to place a hand over the middle of the chest so that we can together say and repeat the affirmations for today's guided meditation. Take a deep inhale into the heart. And please repeat after me. Every day, I take time to tune in and connect with my heart. My heart is the doorway to my soul and the heart of God. With courage, I move forward towards my ideal life. My heart's wisdom aligns me with a divine plan for my life. My heart's love melts all blockages and clears the way. My heart's compassion heals and transforms my relationships. My heart always knows the way because my heart is the way. Please close your eyes and take a few moments to establish an even greater connection with your heart, which is the center of your being. Bringing the attention from the busy mind all the way down to the lower abdomen. Yeah, inhabit the root, inhabit the sacral within you, and then bring it slowly to the heart so that you arrive into the heart from a place of groundedness, being fully present to the miracle that your heart is. Knowing that your heart is more than just the organ, the muscle that beats inside. Your heart is the entire energetic center that lives at the center of your beingness, at the center of your energy system, the chakra system. The heart is the beginning and the ending. It's the first organ that develops, the first one to start generating movement and sound and rhythm. And it's also the last one to go. It is the message center to your souls. And it is your connecting point to the infinite loving heart and mind and soul of the divine, the Tao, God, source, and spirit, whatever name you have for it. Just simply know that this is your connecting point with the infinite loving intelligence. As you feel your heartbeat, as you feel the energetic presence of this heartbeat, begin to breathe straight into it. Breathing slowly, breathing deeply, and breathing nice and evenly. As you breathe in, welcome thoughts as they arise. Welcome sensations. As you feel them, welcome any feelings. Allow yourself to simply become the witness of your life experience. Feeling it, noticing it, witnessing it from your center. In the same way in which a camera perceives the world through its lenses, I'm inviting you to now to perceive your inner world through your heart. As you breathe in and out, you let the outer world take care of itself. There's nothing to do, nowhere to be, no one to be, but here and now. Present to each heartbeat, present to each breath, present to the essence of your being. By being in the presence of this moment and the witness to our heartbeat, our breath, we're now becoming still so that we may know. To know is to remember. And to remember is to be whole, to bring all the pieces together. Realizing that you are an integral part of the whole, made in the image and likeness of the divine. And your heart, made in the image and likeness of the heart of God, the heart of divinity. Feel gratitude for knowing and remembering this. That God made no mistakes when God made you. That within you, there's a power to move mountains, to manifest the impossible, to overcome any difficulty you might be saving. There's the power that creates miracles in your life. Your heart is that power, your center, a place of unity between your heart and the heart of God is that power. So why not claim it? Say it right now. I am the power. I am the power to heal myself. I am the power to transform my life's conditions. I am the power that creates miracles in my life. Feel it. Declare it. Feel gratitude. Within your heart, there is a seed that was planted long before you even came into this life. It contains the greater purpose, greater reason why you're here. Your only job is to discover it, to claim it, to seize it, to begin to take the necessary steps that will allow you to cultivate and nurture that which has been inside of you all along, calling you to an adventure of a lifetime, calling you to a higher version of yourself, calling you to jobs, experiences, relationships, creative expressions that haven't yet been born. In this greatest place of unity between our hearts and mind, in unity between our hearts and the heart of divinity, we now ask, who am I? And why am I here? Who am I? And why am I here? As you listen for the answers, as you remember who you are and why you're here, allow me to speak the following prayer on your behalf. Dear God, our divine Father and Mother, dear archangels of heaven, dear our spiritual fathers and mothers, we love you, we honor you, we deeply appreciate you, and we cannot thank you enough for your love, your compassion, and your guidance. Thank you for the gift of this life. Thank you for all that brought us here together today, that we may unify our hearts in love, in peace, and in harmony. Remembering that each individual here has the power to heal themselves. That I have the power to heal myself, that you have the power to heal yourself, that together we have the power to heal the world. We offer our hearts in unconditional service to humanity. A heart filled with love, a heart filled with compassion, and a heart filled with eagerness to discover its divine essence. Individually and collective, we call for the greatest love that emanates directly from your heart to fill our hearts and to heal within us all of that which needs to be healed release, and transform. We call in the greatest love that melts away all blockages, that heals all. Knowing that melt, love melts all blockages. Love heals all kinds of diseases. Love has the power to transform. Love has the power to transmute. Love conquers all. We receive the blessing of the greatest love that emanates directly from your heart, allowing it to flow through our hearts as water flows through a fountain, that it may flow from our hearts to our friends, our family, and to the world. Love melts all blockages. Love heals all conditions. Love forgives. Love strengthens. Love clarifies. We recognize that the path is the heart, for the heart is your love. Choosing to right here and right now, recommit to our heart's path at all levels. That our hearts may be perfect expression of pure love, pure joy. That anyone who comes into our presence may feel the love of divinity flowing through us. We thank you, oh divine, accepting it done here and now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are incredibly grateful. In perfect alignment with the heart of God, we now declare, please repeat after me. Every day I take time to tune in and connect with my heart. My heart is the doorway to my soul and the heart of God. With courage, I move forward towards my ideal life. My heart's wisdom aligns me with a divine plan for my life. My heart's love melts all blockages and clears the way. My heart's compassion heals and transforms my relationships. My heart always knows the way because my heart is the way. I now choose to follow the way of my heart. I now choose to follow the way of love. And so it is, and it is so. Amen. Gently we initiate now our full return to the physical awareness that surrounds us. Gently opening the eyes and becoming reacquainted once again with the reality around you. Feeling wonderful, feeling energized, feeling grounded and centered in your heart. Remembering that your heart is not a place to get to, but a place to come from. The path that we call the path of the heart has no destination, but it's simply a metaphor for a way of being that is loving, nurturing, compassionate with ourselves and with all of life. A way of being that gives meaning to our lives. A way of being that allows us to be of service to others. A way of being that allows us to reach our highest potential and true fulfillment. All right, my beautiful friends, we're coming to the end of our time together. I'd love it if you could share with me in the comment section below what new insights, realizations, or awarenesses are you taking away with you after not just the conversation that we had, but also the guided meditation and prayer that we did together. What has shifted? What new awareness, what answer popped up that you would like to share with us? I'd love it if we could share it in the comment section below. And I want to remind you also that if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that, so you can receive notifications about upcoming broadcasts. It also helps other people find our videos as well. Christophe Gabriel says, thank you, Gabriel, remembering that I choose to walk the path of the Bodhisattva, the path of truth and compassion now for 20 years already. Yeah, remembering that vow, remembering the choice is very important. I find that for me, it helps me recommit to the path. Ellen says, namaste, baby. Love to all beautiful words today. Thank you. You're welcome. Barbara says, thank you so much. I learned so much. Love you. Grateful. You're welcome, Barbara. For Irish, it was a sense of a reset. Yeah. Mariette says she feels more connected to God. Geraldine says, beautiful. She still feels very still. Isabel says, today's meditation took me deep into my heart. Amanda says, I'm strong and I am capable. Thank you, Gabriel. Yes, you are. Deborah says, I need to work less and be more. Yeah, let your work come from being. Simona says, I love the last affirmation. You're welcome. Isabel says, sensational. Andrea says, thank you. Dara says, grateful for everyone here today. Yeah, me too. And Evan says, grateful to be on the path. Thank you. I'm grateful to be on the path, and I'm grateful also to count with the company and the support of beautiful hearts and souls like yours. Thank you for joining me this week. Wherever you are in the world, I send you blessings of the greatest love that emanates from divinity into every area, every aspect of your life. May you be blessed. May you be strong. May you be reminded of who you are and why you are here. Please take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. As always, I send you all my love from my heart to yours. Until next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me in this week's Heartstream. I hope you're walking away feeling more connected to yourself and your divinity, to the planet, to others, and to all of life. Please be sure to subscribe so that you can receive notifications about upcoming broadcasts. And if you would like to sign up for my weekly newsletter, join the Heart Leader community, or register for my upcoming trainings and seminars, be sure to visit my website, GabrielGonsalves.com. Until the next time, please take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And as always, I send you all my love from my heart to yours. Bye for now.